Gonna be live already? It doesn't make any sense. It said it was gonna go on at 11:20, and it seems to be on right now. So not sure why that's happening. Anyway, I haven't published a new video in a couple of weeks, and there's multiple reasons why I wanted to share it with my audience, and people are actually looking at this now. So reason number one is I was working on a website for a book, which is being published this summer. That's the copy of it right over here. So there it is. This book, Poor Joshua, is being published by SUNY Press, and the author is John R. Howard. I'm going to talk more about that in a future video. And he asked me to develop a website and a social media strategy for the book. So I've been very hard working on that. That took up a couple of weekends, but it's pretty much done. You can go to poorjoshua.com and see what I've been working on and pre-order the book. But you can see that there's a video trailer there, which I actually did not shoot the trailer. That was done by a very talented video maker. And you can go take a look at that, see what the book is all about. Basically, it's a book about a Supreme Court case that had to do with child abuse in America. So that's one thing that's been keeping me very busy. And the other thing that's been keeping me very busy is health problems. So I've been suffering from migraine headaches for a long time. And like the last week, I had problems, and it slowed me down a little bit. So there was that. And I need to make some lifestyle changes in order to not ever have a migraine headache like that ever again, because it's a very sickening experience, and that's all there is to it. So that's why I wasn't making more videos. Looks like Veronica's out here. I can see Veronica in the chat. And that's another thing is, doing things, helping my daughter get ready to go back to college. There's a lot to do. Setup looks good in the video. Yeah, thank you for saying that. I'm actually sitting at the old desk. I'm not sitting at the new desk right now, so you're not really getting the full effect. Also, I don't have the lighting set up properly here. I should probably go turn on the light, but this was just a quickie video, quick live stream to send out some news to the various people that follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and say that I am working on a couple of new videos, political topics. Some of what I'm trying to figure out here is my business model for the channel, and also the different topic streams that I want to cover. So I imagine it being like multiple playlists. Like I'm going to have one playlist where I talk about political topics. I'm going to have one playlist where I talk about maybe like product recommendations, and I'll have another of explainer videos, because what I keep getting asked for is more videos like the one that I did about how to lower your property taxes in New York. So one thing I noticed looking at my channellytics, my YouTube analytics, is that whenever I've got the name of a state or city in the title of the video, it tends to get a lot more views. So I think that improves the searchability, it improves interest level, and that seems to work pretty well. So I'm going to do more of those and talk about different things. So you should make a weekly HelloFresh video. So that's another thing that's going on in my household. I did publish a video on Periscope a couple of days ago because my family is trying something called HelloFresh. This is not an advertisement. I have no affiliation with them, no financial connection, but it's one of these services that sends you all of the ingredients for dinner in a box. And my wife ordered it. We tried it out, and we've now had our third HelloFresh meal. It's very good. I really can't say enough. It's a delicious home-cooked meal, and the advantage of this thing, I was skeptical at first, but now I completely believe in it. The advantage of this thing is that all of the ingredients necessary to prepare a home-cooked fresh meal, including the meat, vegetables, everything, come to you in a box. It comes in this amazing box. I mean, I should put up a link to Periscope so that you can see it. And packed inside the box, inside, they line all 6 sides of the carton with this amazing paper insulation that's like 1.5 inches thick. And then there's a big piece of ice at the bottom, encased in plastic, and I ripped it open to throw it away, and I determined the way that works is they actually inject some type of an antifreeze with the ice inside the sealed plastic packet, one on the bottom, another big one on top, and that keeps the contents cold. So it actually arrives via the carrier. I think it came via UPS. Veronica, do you remember? Just let me know in the chat. I think it came via UPS. And it's cold when it shows up. So you put this stuff in your refrigerator, and so we ordered 3 meals, each one capable of serving 5 people. And you put the meal into each one. Most of the contents of each meal are in a paper bag, and then like the meat and things like that are separate. But you put it in the refrigerator, and you just cook them when you need them. So we made one the first night. My daughter cooked one the second night. Both came out excellent. And then tonight I cooked one with my son, and it came out great, and everybody loved it. So it looks like a winner. So 3 meals for 5 people each cost about $105. So it is, in my opinion, more expensive than shopping for your own ingredients and old-fashioned, straight up cooking at home, but considerably cheaper than eating out where I live. And of course, I live in a very expensive city, but nevertheless, it's a better way of working because I work obviously full-time. My wife works more than full-time. It's impossible for us to make a home-cooked meal every single day. So this is definitely presenting a pretty good option. So that's another thing that's been going on here. But as I said, I had a health issue, dealing with a medical problem. There's no describing how terrible it is if you have a very serious migraine headache. If you suffer from migraines, then you know what I'm talking about. You might even have it worse than me. There are people who have migraines multiple days a month. I don't know how they survive it. Thank goodness gracious, I don't have that. I have a occasional headache, and then it seems like once every 3 to 5 months I'm getting a whopper, and it can make you unbelievably sick. And it felt like I was suffering for a period of 12 or 14 hours, but it's under control now, and I got to do some things so that never, ever happens again. And the only thing I want to say about it, I don't know if this is interesting to anyone or not, but if you suffer from a migraine headache, now I'm only speaking from my own experience. Migraines might mean different things to different people under different circumstances in their life and so forth, but my experience is that when you're having a migraine headache, you can actually have symptoms that you don't have. So in other words, you feel like you have a fever, you're sweating profusely, it's just coming down, but you don't actually have a fever. You feel like you got to go to the bathroom, but you don't have to go to the bathroom. It's all because these neurons are firing inside areas of your brain that are setting off sensations that you're not actually having. But one sensation that you're having is pain, and that is real. And I think that's really what drives people to, to the doctor, to the emergency room, and to get medication and to get help, because that is a very unbearable and terrible thing. So what else can I tell you I'm working on? One thing, yeah, no, absolutely. In the chat, Veronica is saying that I should go to sleep soon. Sleep helps to alleviate. That is definitely sleeping consistently and the right amount and sleeping well sleep is a big trigger for me. So one of the things I am working on is there's so much attention going on with the primary elections. I want to do a video that in some way responsibly talks about a state senate election that's taking place in the area where I live, and it's a story. It definitely has many of the contemporary themes that are going on across the country, where there are the left there's a split in the left, and there's a progressive candidate, female, running against an incumbent Democratic man, and I think he's a very capable state senator. But nevertheless, he's got a primary challenge on his hands, and I think that this race has really a lot of the themes that are happening. So there was a lot of. I did see the new Biaggi promo video. Yes, it looked an awful lot like the promo video for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I can't prove it, but it sure seems like it was produced by the same people, or certainly some very talented filmmakers who were looking at the Cortez video for ideas on how to make this video, because it's kind of the same thing. And so, without going into more detail about it, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at the New York State Board of Elections website to look at campaign expenditures and campaign receipts and see if there are any themes there that I can talk about responsibly without aggravating everybody I know. And yeah, that's it. So if there's anything anybody else wants to talk about, I will put it on my list of videos to continue to research. One thing I found out Monday of this week that I was not aware of. So I live in the suburbs of New York City and very close to the Bronx, which is one of the 5 boroughs of New York City. Boroughs are basically the same thing as counties. So Bronx County, which probably most people have heard of the Bronx. Bronx County is adjacent to where I live. And they are apparently going to install 4 new Metro North commuter train stations in the Bronx over the next several years. It's a multi-$100-million project, and they're just getting underway. There's a group of citizens and professionals that are beginning to research what that's going to mean. I don't know if you've ever heard of these neighborhoods, but Co-op City, Morris Park, Parkchester, and then there's one other area that I don't remember right now. Then they're going to get brand new train stations. So the New York City subways obviously run through the Bronx, but there's so much traffic. There's so much train ridership that they need more. And one way to accomplish that is to install additional stations on the existing commuter train lines, which right now stop in Westchester, where I live, and then they make one stop in the Bronx, and then they stop in Manhattan after that. So what they're going to do is add more Bronx stops. So I want to examine the politics of that and what that might mean for all of those neighborhoods in terms of population and housing and access, and what the demographics of those neighborhoods are like today, what the implications might be. I think it's a really great topic. So that's another one that I'm looking at. And then in terms of explainer videos, it's in the back of my mind to kind of talk about the kinds of things that I'm interested in my kids knowing more about, like, basic things about, saving and finance and government and those kinds of topics. So explainer videos that would maybe be of interest to, young people. So I've got a whole notebook of ideas. And of course, if anybody has more, hit me up on Twitter at RedBlueTalk. You know what to do: like, subscribe. And for tonight, that's going to be all I have to say. So Veronica, try to get some rest. I will do the same, and I'll see everybody on the next video.